And next time you see me, I'll have my hair cut and not be wearing a hat. Hey friends, I'm Diana. Welcome to my channel, Scrappy Warrior Woman. I created this channel as a way to encourage people to crochet. And in today's video, I'm going to give you a peek, just a little peek into what I crocheted and what I did this past month. It may be a little random, but hey, I have been told I am the queen of random. I am going to be showing you some organizational things. I'm going to be showing you crochet. I'm going to be showing you a new pattern that I released. And one other thing, I do an experiment in this video on how to soften acrylic yarn. So stay tuned for that too. So welcome, grab your crochet, and let's go ahead and watch this video. Hey, today I wanted to share with you a few things that I've made. And I made this beautiful bag that is lined in this past month. And I actually have a tutorial for it. So if you're interested in learning how to make this bag, I will put the link for this video in the description below. You've been sneak peeking this beautiful cardigan that I made. This is with scrap yarn, and the pattern I will link below. It is by Pretty and Pate, and this is the shorty version of it. If you see, it falls just like right at my waist right here. It's kind of nice. The sleeves, the cuff is a little bit longer, which you could roll like this if you wanted to, but this is fun. I like how short this part of it is. So I think this is beautiful because it turned out and it has the multiple colors. Okay, so I'm going to show you the other one I just finished, and I was able to add my little tag on it. And this is going to someone special, which I think she may be watching this video, so I don't want to say who it's for, but it may be for a birthday, it may be for Christmas. Okay, so here is the tall glass of water version. Let me see, let me get it to the right size and you will see the difference. So this is for someone that is a taller in the body, and I like the length of the arms a little bit better than the other one. And again, you can roll the cuff if you wanted to, or you could wear it out like this. What's nice about both of these versions is this one falls just a little, it falls like right on my bum. And this version was from this skein of yarn right here. So what I did, I explained this a couple times, but what I did is I took the part that was pink and I did my winder, and then I was able to divide it, crocheting from the middle of the cake and from the out part of the cake. And then I did the same with the blue. So then I could make all these versions of the granny square. So I really like how this one turned out. So that it's easy enough to layer up. This is super soft yarn. I like the length of the sleeve. I prefer the other version, the shorty version of this part of it. So I think the next time I make it, if I'm making a tall one, I'm going to do that shorter version of here. So I think I'm going to do one of these where it takes a combination of both of them to create it. I have the squares going, so this is going to be a little bit different. So this is variegated yarn, and it's going to look different, but it's the same pattern. I'm super excited. This took forever. I think the thing that took the most time is the ribbing all the way around and on the cuffs. But I love this pattern, like can't even stop making it. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's a little bit closer view. And it's kind of fun, like just throwing the granny squares down and just assembling. This one I did a little bit different so they weren't like the same next to each other. I was a little bit more organized with this one. The variegated one's gonna be nice because I can just throw it all together because it is a variegated yarn. Maybe I'll get it done and I can add it to the end of this video. And I decided to use big twist yarn on the variegated. And what's interesting, I did a video that was a head-to-head with Big Twist, Red Heart Super Saver, and also I Love This Yarn. And on this newer package, it has this label that means that it's been tested for harmful substances in it. And this is from the 2024 labels on it. And this is the color Mountainside. And I had to special order this. They do not have this in store. So this yarn was on sale for $2.79. So I was able to order it and ship it to my house. And so I have it. And for the person that I'm making this for, she wears a lot of these colors, very subtle but beautiful colors. So that's why I chose this one. All right, today is haircut day. Therefore, I am wearing a hat. It is pretty bad. I am working on my Christmas gifts already. I already have 2 done. I showed you those 2 earlier. And I am working on something really fun with this granny square. And so it's a hexagon, and it's a different hexagon shape. So it's kind of like a little poinsettia in the middle of it. But what's fun about this is I am not a huge fan of green. One of my brothers is, and my husband is, but it just doesn't speak to me. I guess maybe it's the type of green it is. So in an effort to use up my yarn, because we've always got to make space for new yarn, I am creating something with my stash. So this middle color is actually a different brand than these other 3, but it seems to be working out just fine. I am working on writing up a pattern for this fun little tree. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, so this will not be the final, won't be the final. And I forgot how much I dislike fiddly twiddly with acrylic yarn. If you use chenille yarn or blanket yarn, this would turn out taller. I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But what's different about this is I made it flat on the bottom. Because if you stuff that on the bottom, it makes it bulbous and doesn't really sit flat. And I wanted it to be able to just sit flat and be just fine. So this is super fun. I love the little pom-pom on the top as the topper. I was inspired by something that I was gifted, and I decided to write my own pattern. And next time you see me, I'll have my hair cut and not be wearing a hat. Oh, by the way, this is a sweet hat. I got it from the Grand Canyon when we went up. And I will cue the Grand Canyon views because I took my crochet up there because I am working on another project. Okay, I'm back. Look, I got a haircut. I love it. Look at my spikes on my hair. So this is the other project that I was working on. Let me see if I can do this without getting a whole bunch of shadow. So I made a bunch of squares. And can you guess what I'm going to be making? Yep, another cardigan. So that's where I'm storing them because the people that these are for don't ever come in this office. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and do this today, is I am going to, this is not as soft as I would like it to do, so I read online how you can make your yarn softer. Come with me as we try and figure out how to make this yarn just a little bit softer. I am going to try and soften this yarn a little bit. It's going to be something that is worn, and so I want the yarn to be a little bit softer. So there was somebody online, which I will add the link, and she had all these different things that she tried to make her yarn softer. And the number 1 was to soak her squares with warm water and hair conditioner, either 30 minutes or overnight, and then rinse it out and then dry it. And you can roll that in a towel or you could put it in a dryer. So we're gonna try that one. So let's go. So I rinsed this bucket out and I am going to add water, but I gotta show you this really cool thing. So here's my sink. You touch it. Have you seen those? And it lets me know that the water's getting warm. So the instructions online say fill up a bucket with water, put a couple pumps of hair conditioner in it. So I'm gonna do that with one hand. That's more than pumps, but that's okay. We'll rinse it around here in a second. Kind of looks gnarly. So then, oh, the water's finally getting warm. That's probably good. Put my item in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop my squares in there. So this is what it looks like with the conditioner in there. I may put more, but it said once you drop your items in there, that to put actual hair conditioner in there too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw those in there. Just gonna go, I don't know why I'm doing them one at a time. Just throw them on there. We're all in. I might have to add more water because there's a lot of them. So I decided to do it this way with just the squares because I thought it's gonna be easier. Well, I guess we do need to add more water. It's gonna be easier to do them as squares than an actual whole garment. So now I will let this sit either 30 minutes or overnight just to get the conditioner all soaked in there. I'm going to put some more pumps in there because this is a lot. And it's supposed to be worked into the garment itself. And I need both hands, so and I just picked whatever conditioner I had. This was sitting in my closet, old. So there we go. We'll see how this works. Okay, I dumped the water and now I'm gonna rinse it out. It's kind of interesting that there's actually dye coming out of it, which I didn't expect for some reason. I'm gonna rinse this out and then I think I'm gonna wash it with some soap that wouldn't be harmful or irritating to skin, as I don't know if this person has an allergy to soaps. That's what I'm gonna do. I washed my squares and then I put them in the dryer. They still smell a little bit like the conditioner, so I may, once I've made the garment, let it sit outside just to air out a little bit more, but it's not super strong. So did it work? I would say, yeah, it actually did. It is softer. So I would say that method worked. The other method I thought about was using vinegar, and I really didn't want to smell like vinegar, so I decided to use this one. So I had this cool variegated yarn, and I had one square, and I found this pattern to make this cool beanie. Now this is like an extra large adult hat. So I guess I don't really have, I have an average size head, but this is big. But if you wanted to put it over, you know, a hat or something, this would fit nice. But if your head is a little bit bigger, this would fit. So I think if I was to do this again with this really cool variegated yarn, which this is big twist yarn, I would, instead of doing the border of this with the variegated yarn, I would do black so it kind of blends well and these really, really pop. But I still think this is cool. I'm gonna take this to my doctors and I'm going to donate it for those patients that are going through chemo or treatment. This is gonna go in that stack. I was really excited about that. And then I decided to make my little granddaughter this sweet hat, because every year I seem to make her a hat, but she's 2, and so she needs another one because she does. And that's what grandmas do. So she lives in a part of the world that's a little bit colder than here. And I made this with the alpaca. It's called Touch of Alpaca by Lion Brand Yarn. I don't know why I was gonna say Lionel Trains, because I just don't even know. So I'm going to link this pattern in the description below. I did my joining where on the front side instead of the back. So the pattern calls for it to join and it would look like this on the front, but I thought it would be fine if it looked like this. I think it's fine. I like it even. What I'm talking about with the color changes and how the center part pops, if you keep the border the same color as the joining yarn, it makes it look really amazing. And this whipped up super quick. And look, there's my cool tag. And if you're interested in tags, I am going to go ahead and link the place where I get these off of Etsy. They're really cool to work with. They want to make sure that you get everything right, so I will go ahead and link that as well. Gotta organize this closet. Okay, a little more organized. I actually have linens at the top. That's pretty exciting. And all the games are now up here, and my laundry stuff is there. I have extra food here because I don't really have a good cupboard downstairs. And then I still gotta find home for all this plastic stuff that I cleaned out of my closet. But I showed you different versions of how I'm going to make my Christmas tree, and I have some more versions that I'd like to share with you. And then I have an idea for one more. Honestly, this pattern is quick. It's like an hour or a little bit more than an hour. Super fun. It is a stash buster if you wanted to do that. You can recreate in any different color that you want to. So here's one version of it. This is a mock-up. Look how cool and glittery and fun this yarn is. So this is acrylic yarn. Here is another version. This you can't see, but this is gray, but it has sparkles in it too. And then there we go. And then the pink also has some glitter in it. I thought that was super fun. Okay. And I think I love this one the most. So it has the red, the white, and the gold. And look how cute. Look how cute. This would be fun for a market. If you go to markets and you sell things. For my pattern, so that is available now, and I'm going to link that in the description. But in this pattern, I used mesh, plastic mesh, and I used those pellets, those plastic pellets I used these plastic pellets. If you can see that, that's what I used. And there's my pattern for the base of my tree. To give my tree a little bit of weight, you can use rice. I would suggest that you put that in a Ziploc bag, or even beans. If you don't have magic mesh, you can always use cardboard. So I'm super excited. If you make this pattern, I would love to see any of the items that you make with this polka dot tree, because that's the name of it's called polka dot. Now, I do have to tell you that all of the patterns I make have the names that I give them are special things in my family. The polka dot tree, I actually had a dog. She was my dog. Her name was Polka Dot, and we called her Dottie for short. So this tree I named after Polka Dot. So I made a return of a bunch of yarn, and this one still needs to be returned. I'm going to return it today. Didn't have a receipt for it, and so it was in, because I ordered online. I don't know if you knew this, but I'm going to show you how and where your receipts are for Joanne. If you were like me trying to figure out where your paper one is, works if you order online. I'm returning it. So this information will work for your app and also online. And it's smart enough, see, it already knows that it's my account, log me in. And you can go down and see how this has the order number. All you have to do is give them the order number, and tells me when I picked it up. But this one is the one that I was telling you about that I ordered online, and I didn't end up using all of this yarn. I actually had like 3 or 4 skeins. I didn't need to use all of it, and so all I needed was this order number, and I was able to return my items. The app is just the same. So if you go in and you look in your orders at the bottom, you'll be able to find your order number. My temperature blanket is coming along. That red looks, there we go. That red looks really vibrant. This is actually pretty true to color on the screen. So it's gotten so large, it's hard for me to put it all at one time in the shot. So I'll just keep pulling on it here so that you can see. There's the base of it. Goes around. There we go. So it's coming together. It's going to be a good size when I'm all done. I have found that it's helpful for me to put the temperature on the calendar and then do all of my sewing on Sunday, because I'll create the squares and then I sew them on. Oh, and just so you know, the yarn that I'm using is Caron Simply Soft. That is my calendar that I write the day on, and I need to write the temperature for today, which is 107. Love this idea. If you like today's video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Happy crocheting. I'm gonna add that link to the comments. Actually, I'm going to add it to the description of this video.